You ever notice how politics isn't about fixing anything? It's not about solving problems, it's not about helping people, it's not even about governing. No, it's about distraction. That's the whole show. It's like one big magic act, except the magician isn't even good. You can see the strings, you can see the cards sticking out of his sleeve, and he still stands there smiling like he fooled you. Look at this amazing democracy trick. Yeah, I saw the rabbit in the hat before you put it there, pal. The rabbit's looking at me like, get me out of here. That's all politics is, one endless distraction. They get you riled up about nonsense so you don't notice the real business going on behind the curtain. They put on a circus, complete with fireworks, patriotic music, and flags big enough to cover an aircraft carrier. And while you're staring at the shiny objects mesmerized, the real deals are being signed in back rooms where you're not invited. It's like a street pickpocket show. You're watching the guy juggle while his friend is in your pocket stealing your wallet. And when you finally realize your money's gone, they tell you it's your fault for not paying attention. And the distractions, they're works of art. They'll argue about the color of a tie, the tone of a tweet, the timing of a handshake. They'll spend 3 weeks debating whether a politician sneezed in the correct direction. Meanwhile, trillions of dollars are disappearing into black holes of bureaucracy and corporate giveaways. But you don't care about that, because you're glued to the TV watching two grown adults fight like kids over who gets the bigger podium. It's not politics, it's reality TV with worse lighting. And they love giving you villains. They hand you a face, a name, someone to blame for everything. It's that guy's fault. He's ruining the country. So you hate that guy. You scream at him on TV. You foam at the mouth. But here's the kicker. The guy you're hating is just another puppet. He's not in charge. He couldn't run a lemonade stand without someone else writing the business plan. But you're convinced he's the devil himself. And while you're busy throwing darts at his picture, the real devils are counting their money in peace. And then, of course, the media plays its role. Oh, they're the carnival barkers. They're the ones selling you the tickets, pointing you toward the freak show. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. See the amazing scandal. Watch the incredible controversy. They keep you outraged 24 hours a day. Because outrage is addictive and outrage keeps you watching. You don't even remember what you were mad about last week, but don't worry. They've got something new lined up. You'll be mad again in 5 minutes. That's their promise. And it's brilliant, because while you're distracted, nothing ever changes. That's the real trick. You think you're witnessing history. You think something monumental is happening, but it's just another episode. Another season. Another rerun. They give you the illusion of movement, but the ride never goes anywhere. It's like one of those little coin-operated horses outside the supermarket. You're bouncing up and down thinking you're on an adventure, but you're still in the parking lot. They distract you with culture wars, too. Oh, they love that one. Get people fighting about bathrooms, flags, words, statues, anything symbolic, anything emotional, anything that gets you yelling at your neighbor. Because if you're yelling at your neighbor, you're not looking up, you're not noticing the people who actually screwed you. You're too busy hating the guy across the street for putting up the wrong lawn sign. Meanwhile, both your houses are being foreclosed by the same bank. But you don't notice because you're too busy arguing about pronouns on Facebook. That's the distraction at work, folks. And it's not just what they show you, it's what they don't show you. They'll spend hours on a politician's haircut, but never mention that the Pentagon misplaced another $100 billion. They'll give you live coverage of a scandal about who kissed who in college, but won't tell you your water supply is poisoned until you're glowing in the dark. They don't want you looking in the wrong direction, so they keep pointing somewhere else. Look over here. Look at this juicy drama. Don't look over there where we're robbing you blind. And people fall for it every single time. They line up for the circus like kids with cotton candy. They pick sides, they cheer, they boo, they wave their foam fingers. Go Team Red, or go Team Blue. It's sports for people who don't know they're the ball. And while you're screaming in the stands, the owners of the league are laughing all the way to the bank. Because whether your team wins or loses, the house always wins. And the best part, they make you think it's your idea. I care about this issue. I'm passionate about it. No, you're not. You didn't care about it until the TV told you to care about it. You didn't even know it existed. But now you're screaming at strangers in the grocery store like it's life or death. They program your outrage. They handpick your causes. They script your slogans. And you think you're independent. You think you're free. No, you're just reading from the teleprompter and you don't even know it. And what happens when the distractions wear thin? They invent new ones. Scandal fatigue? No problem, here's a new war. Tired of the war? Here's a new pandemic. Tired of the pandemic? Here's a new scandal. It's an endless conveyor belt of bullshit designed to keep you busy, tired, and confused. They don't want you thinking too hard, because thinking is dangerous. Thinking might lead you to ask questions. Questions like, who actually benefits from all this? And they can't have that. They'd rather keep you entertained. Bread and circuses, same as it ever was. Only now the bread is gluten-free and the circuses come in high definition. And don't you love how they always tell you it's urgent? This is the most important election of our lifetime. The stakes have never been higher. Oh, please. They say that every 4 years. If the stakes were really that high, we'd all be dead by now. But no, the system survives, the same people stay rich, the same problems remain unsolved. The only thing that changes is the intensity of the distraction. It's like a fire alarm that never stops ringing until you don't even hear it anymore. And if you think you're too smart for it, guess what? You're still in it. Because even ignoring the circus is part of the act. You think you've opted out, but you're still being affected by the distractions because the people around you are hypnotized. Society runs on mass delusion, and you're living in the middle of it, whether you like it or not. The circus doesn't need your applause, it just needs your attention. And whether you clap or boo, you're still watching the show. That's the Great Distraction Act, folks. Keep them busy, keep them angry, keep them divided. And while they're busy chasing shadows and screaming at phantoms, we'll take care of the real business where nobody's looking. The circus without clowns, but with plenty of suckers in the audience. You ever notice how they keep telling you, you got a choice, sir? That's the big selling point in politics. You've got freedom, you've got options, you've got 2 whole parties to pick from. 2. Isn't that generous? Out of all the infinite possibilities in the universe, they give you door number 1 and door number 2. That's it. And you're supposed to feel grateful, like you're in some buffet of democracy. Oh, look at all this variety. Yeah, 2 flavors of the same soup, and both of them are cold. And the beauty of it is, people actually argue about it like it matters. They pick a side like it's religion, like it's football, like their eternal soul depends on whether they vote red or blue. They tattoo the logos onto their brain where the merchandise chant the slogans. Meanwhile, the 2 parties are working for the same bosses. It's like Coke and Pepsi. Different marketing, same syrup, and both of them rot your teeth. But oh no, you're convinced one of them is the good one. One is gonna save the country and the other is gonna destroy it. You know what that's called? That's called advertising. They give you the illusion of choice, but the outcome never changes. The rich still run everything, corporations still write the laws, banks still control the money, and you're still paying more taxes than Amazon. The politicians change, the slogans change, the bumper stickers change, but your rent, your bills, your paycheck, they stay exactly the same. That's not choice. That's reruns. That's flipping between 2 channels on TV where the actors wear different costumes, but they're reading the same damn script. And they make a big show out of it. Debates, campaigns, rallies, it's like WrestleMania for boring people. They shout, they argue, they throw zingers at each other. And you think, wow, they're really different. No, they're not. They go to the same dinners, take money from the same donors, and vote for the same bills once the cameras are off. The whole fight is staged, and you're the audience, sitting there with your popcorn, yelling at the screen, convinced it's real. You're watching political theater, but the actors never forget they're on the same team. And you can't even opt out. They guilt you into participating. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Oh, really? I think not voting is the loudest complaint you can make. But they've tricked you into thinking your vote is sacred, like it's this holy act of citizenship. No, it's just putting a check mark next to one of 2 options chosen for you by people you'll never meet. It's like being on a game show where the prize is a lifetime subscription to bills. Congratulations, you played yourself. And every 4 years, they pump up the drama. Oh, this is the most important election in history. Yeah, sure it is. They said that last time and the time before that and the time before that. If they were telling the truth, we'd have solved every problem on Earth by now. But we haven't, because the game isn't about solving problems. It's about keeping the game going. They keep you bouncing back and forth between two choices, so you never notice that neither one of them actually changes the fundamentals. The illusion of choice keeps you busy, while the reality of no choice keeps you stuck. And look at how they brand themselves. One party says they're for the working people, the other says they're for freedom. Great slogan. But then you look at the results. Working people are still broke and freedom still comes with a monthly bill. If either party actually did what they claimed, they wouldn't need to keep repeating it every 4 years. But they do, because it's not about results. It's about keeping you emotionally invested. You're not voting for policies, you're voting for feelings. You're voting for the team that makes you feel slightly less hopeless while they both rob you blind. And the funniest part, people actually believe it's life or death. They'll cut off family members and friendships, ruin Thanksgiving dinners, all over 2 brands owned by the same company. You've got people screaming at each other about who's worse, while the people running the show are sipping champagne together in the VIP lounge. They don't care who you voted for. They already won. The only loser is you for believing you had a choice in the first place. And they give you primaries too. Oh, that's their way of making you feel included, and to pick who represents your party. But the only people who survive the primaries are the ones with money. Lots of money. You don't get fresh ideas. You get pre-approved candidates who've already kissed enough rings to make it to the main stage. And you're supposed to feel proud for choosing between the leftovers they put on your plate. You're like a kid at dinner. Eat your vegetables. Oh, but I don't like broccoli. Oh well, too bad, that's all you're getting. And don't you love how they argue about tiny differences just to keep the illusion alive? We disagree about tax rates by 2%. Wow, groundbreaking. Meanwhile, both parties agree that war is good, corporations need subsidies, and the rich deserve loopholes. But they'll keep you fighting over the scraps so you never realize the big stuff is off limits. They'll let you argue about whether the minimum wage should be $10 or $12, while billionaires make $10 million an hour. That's the illusion. You get to feel like you're debating something important, but the real game is happening way above your pay grade. And of course, the media amplifies it. They turn the two choices into life and death battles. The nation's future depends on this. No, it doesn't. The nation's future is already decided by the lobbyists who wrote the laws 6 months ago. The election is just the halftime show. They make it flashy. They make it dramatic. They keep you hooked. But the outcome is always the same. The people who already had power keep it. And you get to feel like you participated in history, even though nothing changed. And people say, oh well, if you don't like it, start your own party. Oh, sure! Because the system is totally designed to let new parties thrive, right? You've seen what happens. The third parties get ignored, mocked, or buried under ballot rules so complicated you'd need a PhD just to file the paperwork. The system is designed to funnel everything back into the same 2 boxes. It's like trying to bring a new toy into the sandbox, and the bullies immediately throw it out. No, you can only play with our toys. And you keep playing, because what else are you gonna do? So the illusion keeps rolling on. 2 choices, no difference. Every 4 years, the nation lines up, convinced they're about to make history. They pull the lever, they pat themselves on the back, and they wait for change. And change never comes, because the choice wasn't real to begin with. You were voting between 2 pre-selected options, both owned by the same interests, both working toward the same goals, both laughing at you for believing it mattered. And that's the sick genius of it. They don't need to control you with force, they control you with illusion. They convince you that your voice matters, your vote counts, your choice is real. And you believe it, you defend it. You fight over it, you stake your identity on it. And all the while they're cashing checks and writing laws that screw you no matter which box you checked. That's the illusion of choice. The game where you can't win, but you keep playing anyway. Because in the end, you're not choosing the future. You're choosing the flavor of the lie you're most comfortable swallowing. And either way, The people who actually run things don't care because they're already in charge. And you're just the audience at the circus cheering for your favorite act in a show where the ending never changes. You ever notice how they sell voting to you like it's the ultimate prize in the democracy raffle? Like it's the grand finale, the big payoff for being a good little citizen. You get to participate. You get a say in your government. And what do they give you for all this sacred responsibility? A sticker. A goddamn sticker. You wait in line for 2 hours, fill out a form, hand it in, and your reward is a paper circle with glue on the back. I voted. That's it. They don't even give you a free sandwich. I've been to Subway and gotten more for less effort. And everybody walks around with their little sticker, all proud, like they just cured cancer. They post selfies. They show it off like it's an Olympic medal. Oh, look at me. I participated in democracy. Oh, congratulations. You filled out paperwork. You're a hero. You're basically Rosa Parks now. Never mind the fact that your vote went into a giant machine designed to swallow it whole and spit out the same result no matter what. But hey, you've got the sticker, so you're part of history. That's the scam right there. They convince you that putting an X in a box once every 4 years makes you powerful. You have a voice. No, you don't. You have the illusion of a voice. Your voice is like singing karaoke in a soundproof booth. You're singing your heart out, but nobody's listening, nobody cares, and the track is already pre-recorded. But you feel good doing it, and that's the point. They don't need you to change anything, they just need you to feel like you're included in the show. And the show is elaborate. Oh, they make a big deal out of it. Campaign ads, rallies, debates, conventions, it's a spectacle. They hype it up like it's the Super Bowl. Who will win? Who will lose? Who will dominate in Ohio? They break it down with charts, graphs, polls, predictions. They've got political analysts who act like sports commentators. Well, if he takes Pennsylvania and carries Florida, he's got a path to victory. A path to victory? What is this, the playoffs? You're not analyzing democracy, you're running a fantasy football league with worse haircuts. And the whole time, you think you're participating. You're sitting there on election night with your pizza, glued to the TV, cheering when your color wins a state, booing when it loses one. You've got maps, you've got apps, you've got watch parties. And at the end of the night, the result comes in, and what changes? Nothing. You go to bed, you wake up, you go to work, you pay your bills, and the same people still run everything. But you felt like part of the action, and that's the only thing that matters to them. And they make it sound noble, too. It's your civic duty. People died for this, right? Yeah, people died for a lot of things. Doesn't mean the current version is worth much. People died for prohibition too. Doesn't mean banning beer was a good idea. They throw guilt at you like confetti. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Oh, really? I think if I don't vote, I have more right to complain. Because I didn't buy a ticket to the scam. You bought the ticket, you watched the show. You clapped, and now you're disappointed. That's on you. And the funny thing is, they don't even need your vote to keep the system running. The big decisions aren't on the ballot. You don't get to vote on wars or bailouts or corporate tax breaks. You don't get to vote on whether the banks steal your money or whether your job gets shipped overseas or whether billionaires pay zero in taxes. No, you get to vote on personalities. You get to choose which smiling liar gets to announce the bad news to you. It's like picking your executioner. You don't get to stop the execution, you just get to decide who swings the axe. And every time someone says, but every vote counts, I want to laugh. Every vote counts. Not really. Not when the electoral system is designed to ignore half the people. You can win the popular vote and still lose the election. That's not democracy. That's a rigged carnival game. It's like rolling dice where the house decides what numbers matter. Oh, you rolled a 7? Sorry in this state, 7s don't count. Better luck next time. But hey, you tried. Here's your sticker. And let's not forget about gerrymandering. Oh, that's a fun little trick. They carve up districts like it's a jigsaw puzzle drawn by a drunk toddler. They slice, dice, and rearrange neighborhoods until the outcomes are basically predetermined. But you still go in there all proud thinking you're making a difference. I cast my ballot. Yeah, and it went straight into the shredder of political engineering. But thanks for playing. And then there's the voter suppression circus. They close polling places, purge voter rolls, make people wait in line for 10 hours. And somehow you're still supposed to believe it's a fair process. People standing in the rain for half a day just to press a button on a screen that was programmed by the lowest bidder. And if the machine breaks, too bad if your name's misspelled on the roll. Too bad if your ballot gets a loster. Too bad. But hey, you participated, right? You should feel proud. It's not just voting either. They give you surveys, petitions, town halls, all designed to make you feel heard. Tell us your opinion, it matters to us. Sure it does. They file your survey in the same folder as Santa Claus letters. They nod politely at the town hall, then go right back to doing whatever the donors told them to do. But you leave feeling good like you spoke your truth. That's the scam. They don't care about the truth, they care about keeping you calm. And the kicker, people defend the system. They'll fight you tooth and nail if you criticize it. You don't believe in democracy. No, I don't believe in this democracy. This is democracy the same way instant ramen is fine dining. It's technically food, but you're not fooling anybody. People cling to the ritual because it gives their lives meaning. Without it, they'd have to face the fact that they don't really control anything. And that's too scary, so they hang on to the sticker like it's the last rope holding them up. And it's all theater. Every election cycle is just another season of the same show. Different actors, same plot, same ending. You already know who wins. The rich, the powerful, the corporations. You already know who loses, you. But they keep you watching, keep you voting, keep you believing you're part of it. Because if you ever stop believing, the whole thing would fall apart. The scam only works if you play along. And play along you do proudly with your little sticker. So don't kid yourself. Voting isn't power. Voting is participation in a pageant. It's clapping for the performers while the real bosses count the money backstage. You're not changing the script, you're just filling the seats. That's a scam. That's a scam. They make you believe you're part of democracy when really you're just part of the audience. Because at the end of the day, the house lights come up, the curtain falls, and the show moves on. And you're left with a sticker and the faint memory of thinking you mattered. That's all it ever was, the audience participation scam. You know what always cracks me up? People actually believe the politicians are in charge. Like these clowns are running anything. Please. That's the greatest joke of the whole circus. These guys aren't calling the shots, they're not even allowed to touch the steering wheel. They're like the substitute teacher in middle school. The kids are throwing spitballs, lighting fires, and the substitute just keeps writing a quiet please on the board, pretending they're in control. Meanwhile, the principal, the school board, and the guy who owns the textbook company are the ones running the place. That's your government, a room full of subs taking orders from the real bosses. And who are the real bosses? Not you. Not me. Not the people who wave their little flags on the 4th of July, grilling hot dogs and talking about freedom. No, the real bosses are the ones you never see. The ones who don't need campaign buttons or bumper stickers. The corporations, the banks, the billionaires, the people who sit behind closed doors and pull the strings while the politicians smile for the cameras. Those are the ringmasters. They own the tent, they own the elephants, and they own the elephants, and they own the goddamn peanuts too. Think about it. Every politician you've ever voted for had to raise millions of dollars just to get on the stage. Where do you think that money comes from? It's not coming from bake sales and lemonade stands. It's coming from the people who already have everything. The corporations, the hedge funds, the lobbyists, they write the checks, and in return, they write the laws. And the politicians? They're just the delivery boys. You don't get legislation, you get corporate pizza. Here's your new tax code, sir. Extra loopholes. No accountability. Just the way you like it. And the funny part is, they don't even bother to hide it. They literally put the lobbyists in the offices. You ever read those bills they pass? Of course not, nobody does. But if you did, you'd see they're written by the very industries they're supposed to regulate. The oil companies write the energy bills. The banks write the finance bills. The drug companies write the healthcare bills. It's like letting the fox write the rules for the chicken coop. Rule number 1, foxes get first pick. Rule number 2, no chicken's allowed to complain. And the politicians just nod and sign it because, hey, they've got donors to please. And people still think they're choosing leaders. Leaders? These guys couldn't lead a conga line. They're employees. They work for the guys with the checkbooks. And those guys, they don't care about you. They don't even see you. You're not a citizen, you're a revenue stream. You're a walking ATM that spits out rent, taxes, and credit card payments. And the ringmasters sit there in their luxury suites, sipping champagne, watching the circus play out, laughing their asses off. Because they know they've got you hooked. And the media. Oh, don't even get me started on the media. They're the hype men for the circus. Their job isn't to inform you. It's to keep you entertained, distracted, and scared just enough to keep tuning in. They tell you what to worry about, who to blame, and who to cheer for. And all the while, their commercial breaks are brought to you by the same corporations that own the politicians. Pharmaceutical ads, oil company ads, insurance company ads. It's not journalism, it's product placement. They should put a logo in the corner of the screen like it's NASCAR. This debate is brought to you by ExxonMobil and Pfizer. Now back to the puppet show, and people still think they're free. Free? You're not free, you're managed. You're herded like cattle. They tell you where to go, what to think, and when to clap. You think you're making choices, but your choices were already laid out for you. Coke or Pepsi? Democrat or Republican? iPhone or Android? Doesn't matter what you pick. The same handful of companies still own everything. That's the beauty of the scam. They let you feel like you've got options while making sure every option leads back to them. And look at how deep it goes. Every industry has its hand in your pocket. Banks own your debt. Landlords own your shelter. Pharma owns your health. Telecom owns your communication. Tech owns your information. Agribusiness owns your food. You think you're shopping at a grocery store, but you're just walking through their supply chain, paying rent on the calories they let you have. And every dollar you spend circles back to the same boardrooms. You don't even need to call it capitalism anymore. It's feudalism with better branding. And the funniest part? People still argue about politicians like it matters. They'll fight to the death over which puppet has the better smile. Are my guy's gonna fix healthcare? No, he's not. Our guy's gonna fix the economy? No, he's not. None of them are gonna fix anything because broken is the business model. Broken keeps you dependent. Broken keeps you desperate. Broken keeps you working 2 jobs, maxing out your credit cards, praying for a tax refund like it's Christmas morning. And while you're scrambling to make ends meet, the ringmasters are busy counting profits and planning the next bailout. And let's talk about bailouts. That's their favorite trick. They run the casino, they rig the game, they pocket the winnings, and when it all goes bust, they send you the bill. Hey, sorry folks, we're too big to fail. You're gonna have to pay for our mistakes. And you do. Because what choice do you have? You can't shut them down, you can't vote them out, you can't even see them. They're untouchable, the politicians. Oh, they'll take the heat for it, but the ringmasters keep cashing in. They never lose. And while all this is going on, what do they give you? Distractions, entertainment, bread and circuses, just like the Romans, sports, reality TV, celebrity gossip. They keep you busy arguing about nonsense while they rob you blind. You're screaming at your neighbor about pronouns, while they're quietly transferring another $1 trillion to offshore accounts. You're debating masks, they're buying another yacht. You're yelling about gas stoves, they're rewriting the tax code. And you don't notice because they're masters of misdirection. The left hand waves the flag while the right hand empties your pockets. And the best part? They've got you defending them. That's the genius of it. People actually defend billionaires. So don't tax the rich. They worked hard for that. Money? Oh yeah. They worked hard. How many 12-hour shifts did Jeff Bezos pull at the warehouse? How many Uber rides did Elon Musk drive? None. But somehow people will go to bat for these guys like their family. Meanwhile, those same billionaires wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Unless, of course, they could bottle it and sell it as artisanal billionaire urine for $49.99 a liter. And the circus keeps rolling. Because as long as you believe the show, they win. As long as you think your vote is changing things, they win. As long as you fight over red versus blue, they win. As long as you're glued to the screen, distracted by the noise, they win. Because the real ringmasters aren't on stage. They're not giving speeches, they're not kissing babies. They're behind the curtain counting the money, writing the script, and making sure the show goes on. So remember this, the next time you're cheering for your favorite politician, waving your little flag, sticking your I voted sticker on your chest like it means something. Remember who owns the tent, who owns the animals, who owns the performers, who owns you. Because the circus isn't about the clowns. The circus is about the ringmasters. And they always get the last laugh.